Hello again, YouTube. So here it is, Series 4 of Minecrack Ultra Hardcore. And as they said at the last episode, the last one, they have changed things around a little bit. And as you can tell here, things haven't changed around very much. Sorry about that. I was really hoping to be able to do some stuff with chroma key, but it turns out red blankets really aren't the thing for it. But hey, live and learn. Better luck next time. But here we are, the first new episode of the new series of Minecrack Ultra Hardcore. And this time they're doing it in 2 teams. We've got one red team, one blue team. No names, which is a bit of a shame. I thought they would have come up with some pretty good ones, though that might harm its ability to broadcast. We've got BdoubleO, DocM, Etho, and Kurt J. Mack on red team. On blue team, we've got Guude, Pause on Pause, VintageBeef, and Baj. But not only is it 4v4 this time round, as DocM put it, it's kill or fulfill. There is now a monument as an option for victory in this map. The map itself is by a YouTuber by the name of Nekaros. Is the C silent? Is anyone there to hear it wave? The monument itself is by Baj. So in addition to just killing all the opposite players, you also have the option of filling the monument, completing it, and therefore winning. There is a bit of an extra bonus there, as the monument, on placement of a block, the monument will drop gold bars. So, if you've got, to say, 6 wool, you can exchange it for 6 gold bars, you make it to the centre island. That's a pretty good secondary motivation there, even if you don't intend to use the monument to win. To win by the monument method, though, you've got to have, looks like, 1 colour of each type of wool, plus gold block, diamond block, and a brewing stand. So that would kind of necessitate getting to the nether there. That monument is on a central island. There are 3 islands, 1 for each team, plus the centre island with the monument. Centre island, pretty rough going, quite tall, lava, rivers. It's a pretty tight go on there. To start with, we have seen a few of the rules cleared up, made a little more explicit. Regarding the monument, there's no building, mining, removing from, or camping on the monument. No branch mining has been cleared up, no straight tunnelling is allowed, you're only looking for caves, you're not allowed to be mining for resources. You're only allowed to take resources you find out the walls. Apparently ghast now drop 1 gold bar instead of a ghast tier. There was some mention of altered recipes, but that may have been to do with the ghast, because they didn't mention any other actual brewing recipes. So, corpse looting has been explicitly allowed, not that it's almost impossible to not do anyway, since once the inventory is dropped on the ground it will automatically be picked up by the player. The map's got allowances for other people to play it. It's got a team randomizer in the form of several chests full of different coloured wools. You go around there, pick a chest at random, the first chest you pick, what colour wool is, you're on that team. So you may notice I'm a little bit slower tonight. I've had far too much caffeine these last week or so. I'm starting to get heart palpitations, so I've really had to cut down on it. Nothing for me tonight. I've had a few cups of Red Bush, caffeine free. It's very nice, makes a good tea substitute. The spawn area is a large platform above the monument island. You've got 2 roads that run out to 2 drop points. Once both teams get there, you break a section of glass, wait for the start, all drop down the hole, and there's boats waiting for you on the corner of the island facing you. Now, the 2 team islands, the boat travel from the centre island to the team islands took about 1:15. Judging they're going roughly a straight line, and with the rough speed the boats do at top whack, you're looking at about 350 blocks. So those teams, well, let's assume the island, the centre island that is about 50 blocks wide, so probably about 750 apart. And again, my favourite, a portal note, that will mean any portals put down by the first team will have to be an extra 250 blocks or so further inland to avoid getting tied in with the enemy's portal. I think the first thing we notice about this, though, because it's a team game, they're all running on Skype or some other team chat system. And this is making it a lot more entertaining, because rather than talking to the viewer, they're talking to each other, so you get to hear what's going on a little bit more, and you're watching one video and you get an idea of what someone else on their team is up to. Personally, I think it's making it a lot more entertaining than last series. It's still tension, it's a different sort of tension from last time. Last time it was very isolationist, this time you're never quite sure what's going to be happening next. If you've been watching the first episode and watched both teams, you'll notice that the islands they've landed on, while they're supposed to be identical, look an awful lot different from each other. I'm suspecting that maybe the map has been cloned from one portion, one island's been copied and pasted to the other, but hasn't been rotated, so you're actually seeing the reverse side of the island. It's hard to tell, and I'm sure we'll find out once the map's finally released. Something I want to do in this time around, I've come up with a better scoring sheet, so hopefully it'll make it easier to keep track of who's doing what in the game. As you can see, down the left, we've got the player icons, the health bars, below that, names, attributes are going to be filled with any pertinent items I feel they've found. Yeah, and also keep track of their armour levels and anything else that seems to be pertinent. The time marker there is going to be counting down how long it takes them to die. And that question mark there is going to be filled in by who or whatever killed them. I'll be updating that for the end of every episode. But on to the actual game itself. Say we're half an hour in and we've already lost a player. Unfortunately, that was VintageBeef. Beef is on the blue team, or was on the blue team. They had a brief restart because Guude's system crashed and had to restart his recording software. Missed a bit of his footage there, so in case you're wondering why that cut out. A little confused why they didn't all bother to grab the wood from their boats when they ran ashore, but hey, it's only a little bit of wood. They originally split into two groups, Badge and Beef and Guude and Paws. There's a few close calls as well, with close quarters mob fighting and close quarters mining. Because of course if someone steps in your way while you're hacking out a block, you're going to hit him in the legs. Beef started and pretty sharpish realised that he's left some maintenance materials in his inventory from when he started. They had to do some patching up on the map before they began, and it turns out he actually had some wool sitting around his inventory which he had to get rid of, plus 56 gold bars that he had to chuck off the edge of the world. Oh, that's really got to be hurting. The overall plan they're running with is go and kill the other team. They're not going to hang around if they can help it. They're not going to go for the monument, and they're only going to make a portal if it's convenient. If they happen to find lava where it is, they'll make one, but they're really not that fussed about it. It's a nice thing if they can get it, but otherwise, who cares? Anyway, the maps have actually been cut and pasted pretty harsh. They've been cut very straight edged. So once you go offshore a little bit, you find the map just drops straight off below the sea level. Beef swims offshore, sees a stubby little ravine, swims in, accidentally causes a block update, but the flooding that it causes isn't too severe. Badge joins him shortly after, and they staircase down. They decide to tunnel down from the end of the ravine inland. They find some skeletons, no real drops. Beef goes up to make some armour. Armour's got with boots, helmet, and leggings, trousers, pants. Both for him and Badge, since they're both in the immediate area. Badge finds some good lava sources, so Beef brings him down a bucket as well. Unfortunately, this is where it all goes wrong. Beef pops down, starts blocking off a lava supply, grabs it in a bucket, takes a brief pan of the surroundings, and somehow angers an Enderman. Now, Beef has done this better on his own channel, he's done it better in his own video, close-ups, full light upgrades, and you can see that he does not actually look directly at Enderman. He looks at a block in front of the Enderman, but at no point does his cursor actually cross the Enderman itself. So we're probably looking at maybe a lag issue here, or a generalization issue with the running as a multiplayer server, but yeah, really the glitches took him out on this game. Beef's final time, 21 minutes, 29 seconds. So yeah, blue team, down one player, and Badge, in fighting off the Enderman, trying to take him off, poor Beef, unfortunately took quite a lot of damage as well, so he's down to 4 hearts. Guude is also not faring fantastically. He ended up walking backwards off a very short cliff and took half a heart of damage, and that's really got to be hurting his pride. They have, however, found a spider spawner. The access to it isn't fantastic, but it's a dungeon. There's a chest in there, we don't know what's in there yet. And so far, Paws on Paws has managed to make good headway into getting it lit up, and managed to get a few more rushes on that dungeon, and he's probably going to be able to get in there safely. So currently it's surrounded by water. This may be an access prevention measure by the map maker, don't know yet. But it means that you can't tunnel in around the sides of this dungeon to get easy access to all its goodies. It does mean though that once they're really in there, they can start farming it and hopefully get some good string out of it. Red team, however, have had a much stronger start. Now initially Red team's start was a little bit slower, slower off the centre island. They said it's about a third start, so maybe they had to restart the server a few times. There's no footage for that from any player, so I'm going to presume that it crashed a couple of times. They mentioned having seen the island before, so I don't know how far they got out to sea before they had to restart over. I'm guessing that has something to do with Guude's system crash. It doesn't take long for their fortunes to really pick up though once they get ashore. They already know there's a testificate village nearby, and as they come up to the shore there's chickens everywhere, so they start killing chickens. They've got a food resource, they've got feathers straight off the bat. BdoubleO apparently has a near miss with a creeper drowning underneath him in the water. Their perception is the other team will be aiming for the nether, so there's a bit of a misconception there. And later on they also make the false idea that the other team, because they've lost a player, will be acting on defence, and maybe their tactics will change, but originally the blue team was intending to go straight on the attack. The testificate village, while near a desert without many trees nearby, is a hell of a lot of wood built into it, plus a lot of wheat. So they've got bread, they've got wheat, they've got gravel that makes up the roads, they've got flint, so they've pretty much got everything for making arrows. Kurt turns up in an apple in one of the few trees he does find to take down. There's also a couple of colours of wool they pick up from previously dyed sheep. So if they do get back to the centre monument, they could pick up some cheap gold. As night falls, they all decide to head underground. They start a little base inside a mountainside on an all dig off in separate directions. They're all running off, but they're all running off the same core. So whereas blue team has split off into 2 groups, this team have sort of split off, but I keep coming back to a central hub, a central chest, where they're just dumping everything. There's a couple of near misses and pickaxes while they get used to mining together, but pretty soon BdoubleO sets up the idea that we ought to just warn each other as we approach each other. Just let someone know it's coming, no sudden turning around, no sudden swipes thinking they're a creeper or something. Kurt tells a very memorable story.
Once upon a time,
and Etho shortly finds a mine shaft. He somehow digs directly into the top of a spider spawner though, so that's pretty quickly covered up. However, Doc M has been digging very nearby and finds another entrance into this mine shaft. So, Etho is able to find a way into dig into the side of the spawner and collect 9 string straight off the bat. First half hour he's got string. They've already got wood, they've already got arrows, they're pretty well kitted up. They've got a lot of iron smelting, however, blue team does have iron armour already. Beef and Badge did have a partial set each. Of course now Beef's dead, there's 2 partial sets, one with Badge and one free to whoever takes it. Doc's picked up his game a lot since the last series. It's very noticeable. He is still thinking of the long game though. And at the end of the episode we see Doc M running out some wheat to collect some cows. This is a view to get some meat, to get some leather and get some milk from them. Because obviously if you're dealing with the cave spiders, the poisonous ones, milk will save your life there. It's been a lot of hard work this first episode, and it's going to be paying off. Okay, blue team has lost a player unfortunately, and one player is down to like lower than half health. But they do have armour, and they're going to have string soon, so it's anyone's say how the next episode's going to go. If we run down the status of the teams at the end of this episode, blue team has Guude with 10 hearts, preparing to enter the spider spawner. Pause has 10 hearts, also possibly going to enter the spider spawner. VintageBeef is sadly dead. Badge is down to 4 hearts and probably out of it on his way out of that ravine. Though he does have a bucket of lava and sources of lava other than that. So there's a possibility of a portal going up next episode. Red team sees BdoubleO on 10 hearts, Doc M on 10 hearts, and luring cows in to their doom at the end of the episode. Etho, 10 hearts, peering into a new cavern he's just discovered. I'm hoping he heads above ground with that string though before anything springs itself on him. And Kurt J. Mack on 10 hearts. Love to hear back on it, what anyone else thinks of these episodes, and any other little theories about what will be going on in episode 2. Hope to see you then. Good night.